Assalamu alaikum. This is part 2, communication skills. In the part first, we have explained communication skills and its importance. We have also seen communication as a complete process in which we have a sender, the one who encodes a message. Then we have a medium through which the message is sent to the person who received that particular message, and that is called the listener or the receiver, because the work of the listener or receiver is to decode the message and understand it and then respond back. Another thing that we have discussed in our previous lecture, that the role of the environment for the good communication. So these all information include in the lecture 1, lecture first. Today we are going to add some new information about communication skills. Apart from the communication skills, we are having the slide where we will be explain the skills of language, such as receptive skills and productive skills. And receptive skills, we have things that we are going to discuss, and also the productive in the productive skills. So basically, communication is the central to everything that we do. For example, what we do in our life, that is communication. For example, if we see a picture and we understand something from that particular picture, that we do communications. We do things in organization, in our family, schools, college, office, hobby groups, community groups, our city, town, or the organization in which we live and act. Our activities succeed or fail, and our goal are achieved or not achieved according to our ability to communicate effectively with other members. Communication plays a foundational role in the development of any healthy relationship. It can strengthen a mutual sense of commitment. It also helps to bridge the gap between the people who have misunderstanding. Indeed, communication plays a critical role in all the phases of interpersonal relations, from creating a relationship to maintenance of the relationship. For example, we are living in a society, and in a community, we have to develop a relationship with the other people, and then we have to maintain the relationship through communications. We have to understand them, and we want ourselves to be understood by them. So for the understanding, either understood by them, or when we want them to understand us, or we understand them. So for both, we need communication skills. In communication skills, as I said in the previous lecture, that is like there are way of communications. In a way of communications, for example, we have a sender. The process, as I discussed, that it is a complete process, and when we do communications, there are ways of communications. For example, one way of communication or the two way of communication, but in every communications we have the senders. We have a sender who initiate the process of communication. The sender has to be clear about the purpose, the goal, or the objective of the communication, and about the target audience, the receiver of the communication. That is, the sender decide why and to whom to send a message. Conscious or intended communication has a purpose. We communicate because we want to make someone to do something, or take some action, or think or feel in a certain way. That is to influence the purpose. That is to influence the person. The source has to decide what information to convey and to create the message or the content to be conveyed by using words or other symbols which can be understood by the intended receiver. The purpose of the putting the idea into symbol is called encoding. In order to encode, the sender has to select suitable symbols which can represent the idea which can be understood by the receiver. The sender also chooses a suitable channel or medium like mail, email, telephone, face-to-face talk by which to send the messages. The choice of the medium depends on the several factors like urgency of the message, availability, and the effectiveness of a medium, and the relationship between the two communicants. Finally, the sender tries to note the effect of the message on the receiver. That is, he checks whether the receiver has got the message, how the receiver has responded to the message, and whether he has taken the required action. This information about receiver response is called feedback. So we have, in the sender functions make up half the process communication. The function of the sender's process, for example, in a two-way communications, we have a idea. The idea is being sent by the let me show you the highlighter. The process of the idea, the idea is sent by the sender. This idea is sent by the sender, that is the function of the sender, make up the half process of the communication. The function of the senders are being clear about the goal and the purpose. The message should be clear. The idea that is being encoded by the sender, and the idea, and that is the very important thing. It should be clear. The purpose of the communication should be clear, and it should be understandable. Finding out about the understanding and the need of the target audience, encoding the required information and idea with symbols to create message to suit the receiver or audience, and then selecting the medium to send the message. Then we have to think about the medium, through which medium we are going to convey our message, making effort to get feedback, and this is finding out of the response of the target audience. Then we have the receiver, the received message that is being received by the receiver, who decode the message, whose function is to decode the message that is sent by the sender. The receiver become aware that the message has arrived when he perceives it with his senses. He may see, hear, feel. The receiver attended to the message and interpreted it. The process of translating the symbol into idea and interpreting the message is called decoding. So decoding is the function, is the term that is used for for taking out the hidden meaning that is being encoded by the sender. So interpreting is a complex activity. It involves using knowledge of the symbols, drawing upon previous knowledge of the subject matter, ability to understand attitude and value in order to create meaning. The receiver understand and explain the message on the basis of the earlier knowledge. The meaning that a receiver gives to the word and other symbol is influenced by her knowledge, intelligence, past experiences, and relation with the sender. If the two have a common field of experience, for example, if two people belong to the same area, they have a same kind of information, so they have a same kind of a knowledge, experience, the receiver's understanding of the message will be closer to what the sender intended. For example, they can easily understand one another if they belong to the same field, if they have the same experience. But when a person belongs to the other area, his experience is different from the person who received the message, and who received the message, his experience are different. So there might be some difficulty of understanding to create an understanding between them. So the receivers also feel a reaction to the message. This reaction may be conscious or unconscious. It may cause some change in the receiver's facial expression. It definitely leads the receiver to think. The receiver may take some action if required. He may also reply the message. This response and reply is the feedback. The reply that is being given is called the feedback. When the receiver get the idea what is being sent by the sender, then he will have to respond, and this is called the feedback. Receiver functions complete one cycle of the process of the communication. The function of the receiver are the attending the received message, that is listening, reading, or observing. For example, when he see a picture, so he observe or he see things or any object in the nature or in the society. So he observe if he can get a received message through reading, through listening also as well. Decoding the received message, the receiver work is to decode the received message, interpret and understanding the meaning of the message, responding to the message, giving feedback to the sender of the message. So this is the function of the receiver. This is a simplified description of a single cycle in the process of communication. Communication really takes place in a several cycle, and two persons take turns and alternately carry out the function of the sender and receiver. Both the sender and the receiver have important function in the communications process. It can be successful only if both are efficient and attentive. Each person's perception of the things and interpretations of the message is influenced by her past experience and attitude formed by previous communications event. Each one has a field of experience which is critically important to the process of communication. Unless there is an area of experience that is shared by both, the message is not likely to be communicated. The thing that we are that are very important for this process is called environment. So environment are very much necessary for the communication. Environment is a communication. Communication takes place in an environment. Without environment, a communication cannot be taken place. People cannot understand one another. Environment includes several things. The most obvious is the place in which the communication takes place. If it is pleasant, comfortable, and communication is better, it is not hot, noisy, and uncomfortable, it is less effective. Noise or disturbance in the environment usually hinder that can stop the flow of the communications. Another aspect of the environment is the circumstances. The circumstances of each communicant, each one's position in the organization, the usually work that each one does, and the present state of the mind of each one can all influence of the communications process. The present relationship between the two is one another factor is the environment. It is difficult for a person to communicate with each other if their relationship is not good. The political culture, legal culture, technological environment influence communication, as these factors may affect each one's situations and opinions about the content of the message. Context is another aspect of the environment. Context is a set of circumstances that surrounded as an event and influence of its significance. A message may require a different meaning as in a changed context. It is the background of the content of the message. If both have the same amount of background information about the situation and the issue, it is easier to communicate on the topic. The context influence the sender encoding and the receiver decoding, and also one's interpretations. So in this way, this is the two-way communication. The slide that is being shown on the screen on the slides is the two-way of communication. In the one way of communication, that is normally possible when we watch television, when we watch news or any other things on the televisions, or when we read something through newspapers. So this is called the one-way communication, where we cannot give feedback directly to the sender. We can only watch, we can only decode their messages. So this is in the two-way of communications. You have a sender who generate and produce the idea, who encoded the idea and message, and the message is being sent to the receiver through a proper medium, who decode the message and get out of the idea from the decoding message, from the decoded message, and then give response to the sender through, and this is called the feedback. So it is this is happen in the two-way of communication. The one-way routine is only a part of the communication process. For the communication to be completed, the sender must know whether the receiver has got the message, understood it in a way it was intended, and has received it well. The sender can find out this only in getting a chance to note that the reaction and the responses of the receiver. The responses may be in a word spoken or written, sign or behavior, both conscious or unconscious. The response or the return message is feedback. So this is called the two-way of communications. Communication skills is made of a three-way. The first way, we have a verbal, spoken or written. We have a communication that is possible through spoken or written message, the message we deliver. So this is called the first way. This is first way. The second way, we have a vocal, how we convey the message, the voice that we convey, the language that we convey, the tone that we adopted for conveying the message is called the vocal. The third way, we have a visual visual, the way your body moves while communicating, our body language. For example, normally when we do communications with the people, we are using two-way communication, verbal and non-verbal, because we are using our words to communicate. Along with, we are using our body, our hand, we are moving, we are doing gestures through through our words, the words that we are uttering. So this is called the two-way, it's a two-way of communications. The verbal communications are non-verbal communications. How do you communicate? This is important. It is as I have discussed these things, so I need proper it need proper channel. For example, you must have a proper channel, a medium through which you can communicate. Proper skills, learn power, or of the doing something. Skills means you have the innate ability of doing something, but when you go to an organization and there you take admission and you polish your skills, so this is called the learn power of doing something. For communicating, language is necessary, and language is the system of sound and word that we used in a different context according to the situations. Language is a system of learning sounds and words and how to apply them in a different context. In language, we have a skills, types of language and types of language skills. For example, we have two skills, receptive skills, listening and reading. Productive skills, speaking and writing. Readings and listening involve receiving information, and so they are called the receptive skills. Through receptive skills, we can receive idea, we can receive informations through reading. Either when you read something, you get some information, you get some ideas from reading. When you listen something, obviously you understand something, you get something, you get some idea, some information. So this is called the receptive skills. In speaking skills, when you produce something, when you generate something, when you generate idea, when you generate information, either through speaking or through writing, are known as the productive skills, because it is produce idea, it generate the idea, because they involve producing words, phrases, sentence and the paragraph. So this is called the types of language. In the next video, we are going to cover the types of the communication, in which we have a verbal and non-verbal communication. For today lecture, this is enough, and I hope you would like this lecture and understand it. If you have any recommendation or any concerns, any questions about this lecture, you may ask in the comment sections, or you can ask me directly. Thank you, students.